Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. Welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Appreciate you being here. Man, I tell you what, this is going to be an exciting chapter, new chapter for Turn 1 as we partner up with Downforce Racing Series for their Cup Series kickoff right here at Daytona tonight. Really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good time to really just check out what these guys are all about. I partnered up with them and was really excited to win their business, so we appreciate them for choosing Turn 1 for all their broadcasting needs for the next. I think we're covering 14 races for them on Tuesday nights right here on Turn 1. Let's quickly take a look at the schedule. That's really the important part, right? So starting tonight, we're at Daytona, then we move to Las Vegas, Michigan, Nashville, Iowa, Pocono, Chicagoland. Back out to Dega on 6/17, Charlotte, Homestead, Bristol, Texas, Dover, Kansas, and we wrap up August 5th at Phoenix. So it's going to be a good, nice, quick summer series here. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you get connected to Turn 1 so that you don't miss a minute of the racing action, not only from the Downforce Racing Series guys, but the Ohio Sim Racing guys, the over there at the American Sim Racing Tour gentlemen. We've got all the action right here on Turn 1. Qualifying is just about wrapped up here at Daytona, and we're going to get this race underway here tonight on Turn 1. As you've seen last night, we were here we were here at Daytona with the American Sim Racing Tour, and I tell you what, that race was it was an interesting one. That is for certain. Tonight, I imagine we will probably have hopefully we'll have a little bit of a more green flag action, which I'm assured it's going to be a good time here with this group here. So I look forward to seeing what the racing turns into. Make sure you stick around after the race tonight. We'll do some post-race coverage with our first, second, and third place drivers. So you're not going to want to miss what they have to say about tonight's racing event, the action on track, and more right after the checkered flag here tonight at Daytona. But just like that, we are getting ready to go green flag racing under the lights here. And you know, I'm a little biased, but it is certainly my favorite time of day over at Daytona under the lights with the season kickoff here. And let's take a very quick look at our qualifying results, if we could. Let's get that pulled up. There we go. So it looks like... Nope, that is not going to work. We are going to have some graphical issues. All right, so we'll just talk about it. Charles Woods up there on the 40 machine is going to start on the pole here tonight. Ross Rawlings, John Zaricki, Caden, Henry Oaks going to start top 4, and Mike Whitaker your top 5. David Hunt, Tyler White, Andrew Lutz, Tristan Perrine, and Jerry Bergeron your top 10. Todd McGregor, Lonnie Barrington, John Anderson, Paul Crumry, Chris Walker, your top 15. A couple of these names a little familiar. We've talked to them or raced with them a couple different times at a couple different places here on Turn 1. Vinny Maestas, I apologize about that, Vinny. Bob Lacavera, Jeff Hollingsworth, Andrew Lutz, and Hanover Fist. Your top 20. Some of these guys playing with some names here. Looks like Andrew Lutz and Andrew Lutz Jr. are both in this race. That could be interesting to pay close attention to here. And finally rounding out the field is Corey Moore, Fred Williams, Stephen Lane, and Michael Shea. Everybody getting grid up here as we get ready to go green flag, racing under the lights at Daytona. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. I see Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube all lit up with some viewers. Make sure you stop and say hello in the chat. If you don't, if you're here cheering on a driver, make sure you mention who do you think's going to bring home the checkered flag here tonight at Daytona. It's going to be an interesting one. We're going to talk a lot about the super speedway racing and how it's going to materialize for a lot of these drivers. We're going to talk about what's going to be important in terms of being able to win these types of races. And we are also going to talk a lot about these drivers. I got handed a pretty cool get-to-know-you sheet for a couple of them. So we're going to sprinkle that in as we go racing here tonight. come down the backstretch here for the only warm-up lap of the night. Next time by, the pace truck's going to duck down pit road, and we're going to see these drivers go green flag racing here at Daytona for the first time. This over 2-mile racetrack, it really popular racetrack, obviously, Daytona. If you've never heard of it before, well, you must be under one of those proverbial rocks, because Daytona is the mecca of oval racing, and it's always going to put on a good show. Side by side, they're grid up, they're ready to go here under the lights. It is going to be some intense racing action out of these drivers. We're going to want to pay close attention to the 40, the 91, the 51, and the 44 on this start. This is where you make or break the first half of your race. We'll talk about the strategies that play into it. But for now, the pace truck is going to go down pit road. And these drivers are getting ready to go down into the start zone. And the green flag is out. The Downforce Racing Series is live on Tuesday nights. The outside lane, only 3 cars, but they've got a half a car length lead on the bottom. Everybody else in the top 10, top 15 now down on the bottom line. We talk about that start being critical. Well, we're seeing that kind of come to fruition here. That outside line kind of all by themselves, and they're going to push Ross Rawlings out there and get clear of the 40 of Charles Woods. But now, C-H-O, we're going to call him Caden Henry on the outside now, looking for a little bit of advantage. He's getting the push off Dave Hunt. But now that outside lane's pretty much all bunched up. 2 by 2 as they come across the stripe here, lap number 2 of 80. Everything's going to settle in here now with these drivers as they come down the backstretch. These cars just now getting up to speed here for the first time tonight at Daytona. All the practice, all the partnership is for this moment right here. And down on the inside, Ross Rawlings. And Charles Wood, oh, they're going to make contact. That's going to check the field up. Nobody's going to wreck, though. They hang on to it, but wow. A huge checkup in the front scatters the field with the 91 and the 40 making slight contact, or nearly making contact there. Now the 40's got to push from the 7 car. And Charles Woods is going to squeeze by. Woods now clear on the bottom. He's got the 7 with him. I believe that's Andrew Lutz Jr. there. The car number's not matching scoring. We're going to have to sort that out, but that is Andrew Lutz Jr. Now on the bottom with Woods. It's going to leave that high line high and dry. Caden Henry Oaks, Dave Hunt, and I believe that's Tyler White up there as well. And now the front 4 single file out. A big gap now all of a sudden back to 5th. And we're going to see a pretty big run come from that inside line. These 4 cars up front, single file, are going to punch a big hole in the air, allowing that inside line to catch up with them at a rate that's going to be a little higher than what they're running. We see the 44, he's going to move to the high side. He's going to try to do the similar. He's going to try to pull that outside line up to him. Right now, though, it doesn't look like they're able to do so. Well, there you go. Now the 44's got him picked up. Now the 44 is going to have a big run unless anybody decides to step out and block it. Right now, it's Woods, Lutz Jr., and Rawlings all hanging out in the top 3. Right there on the bottom line. So far, nobody stepping up and wanting to take that high line. We talked about this last night on the ASRT broadcast, but Daytona does not typically lend to having a strong outside line. At best, for the average racer, the outside is a great place to try to make a pass, but it's not going to be where you're going to make a ton of momentum up. That's not going to be faster than the bottom line. Whereas we see at Talladega, at times, the outside line, especially hooked up with the right people, can be powerful. We can see 2 and 3 wide racing at Talladega. Here at Daytona, typically when we see 2 wide racing, that's going to be about the max, unless you're having to work through some lap traffic. We're not going to see these drivers right around 3 wide here at Daytona. But nonetheless, pack racing is pack racing, and you're seeing a first-hand account of what that can look like. Single file, nose to tail, or 2x2, nose to tail, fitting the majority of the field under a blanket. And you could go from last to first, and you can go first to last in a matter of just a lap or so here on this super speedway racetrack. Up front right now, Woods continues to dominate that bottom line, but here comes the outside, and there Lutz Jr. is. He's going to move up high. He's going to block the run off the 44, and that is going to actually give him a pretty big shove as they roll down this tri-oval front stretch and into turn 1. Lutz Jr. is going to, that was what I was expecting to see. Either the 91 pull off or even the 40 move up and block a little bit. I expected to see them grab that outside line and potentially go for what we call a bit of a ride. They end up getting the draft put together and are able to really pull themselves forward based on these runs. And what matters most is how these runs you come to fruition and formulate. And you, as a driver, especially early in this race and with a setup in a car, you need to understand how it's going to behave early, because towards the end of this race, you're going to lose all your partnerships, all the friends you had, all the teammates. Really, especially on that last white flag lap, it's everybody's race. So you're going to lose what you may have known about the car or known how you've been drafting for the last, hour or so, and you're going to have to rely on yourself to get those runs to be at the very front at the end of this race tonight. Woods, Rawlings, White, Anderson, and Crumry, your top 5. As we see a couple of these drivers start to cycle out just a bit, the 44 starting to fall back. That outside line, as I mentioned, has started to come apart a little bit, and really the inside line too, now that we're starting to take a look. Everybody's kind of backed off the heat a little bit. Now it's pretty much a 3-car split out up front, and then now being led by the 96 of Paul Crumry, just hanging out here, pulling this rest of this field along. He's got Todd McGregor, John Anderson, and then Lutz Jr., Chris Walker sitting in 8th. It's a little bit of a battle back here with the 96 kind of leading the charge. He's caught back up to that lead pack. Now it's 6 cars, single file down the front stretch as they come across the stripe to take lap number 10 of 80 here tonight at the Downforce Racing Series on turn 1. Tell you what, it's really good to see the 40 and the 91 working together. They had a near contact scare, I'm going to call it, early with a 40 hopping out to try to take that outside line. And was able to do so to get up front here. And these two have been kind of nose to tail tucked right up underneath one another since that lap. I think it happened around lap 3, so about 7 laps ago. Whoa! I see that! There's going to be contact and a big wreck. That's going to happen right in front of the field. And that included the 91. Maybe I spoke too soon. The 91 had a little bit of a bump there coming off track. Had to check up. Let's go back and see if we can take a look, find out what exactly happened to cause this. I do believe it started with Ross Rawlings. There we go. Let's get the right moment here. We may have to step back a little further. Yeah, Rawlings was just low on the apron, and everybody had to check up. It just slowed everybody down, and before you know it, several cars involved trying to get it all woed up. We got 2 in the wall there. That's Chris Walker, unfortunately, caught up in that. And one driver that I don't think incurred a lot of damage. How about the 91? Under caution here for the first time tonight at Daytona. And it's a tough racetrack on occasion. We see the 91 got out of shape, probably off the bumper of that driver just behind him, and now it's led to that caution here. Lap number 11. Charles Woods, Todd McGregor, and Andrew Lutz Jr., your top three. We're going to step aside. You're watching turn one. Back live here at Daytona as the pace truck lights are off. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here, lap number 13 of the Downforce Racing Series season kickoff right here on turn one. Taking a look at the turn one broadcasting chats across the board. We got Madison Ball cheering on Vinny. Madison, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. And Daniel Holloway says, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready." Daniel, anytime you're ready to get the Candy Shack 21 in any of these races, you just let me know. We'll figure out a way. So, with that being said, we're going to get ready to go back green flag here in just a little bit. Off the lead of that Phoenix, Arizona, Charles Woods, driver of the 40. Todd McGregor, P2. Mike Whitaker, P3. John Zaricki, that's going to be P4 in the 44. And then, it's going back and forth here, so I'm not sure. It looks like it's going to be Bob Lacavera and P5 in that number 5 Toyota. Let's take a look back at some of these drivers that were running up front before all the chaos broke out. Paul Crumry and the 96 car. He's come down pit road here. We've seen all but really the top 9 come down pit road. Paul came down and looks like he got repairs on that car. Same with CHO, the Caden Henry Oaks in the 51. He's back down in 20th. Ross Rawlings is sitting back in 22nd. Green flag back out. Charles Woods, Todd McGregor out front gets them rolling here. And again, another rather scattered out restart with the 44 quickly catching up here alongside Charles Woods, or along the rear of Charles Woods. Todd McGregor has got Mike Whitaker on the high side, but really a huge gap for those drivers. Now we're going to see, who is that? That's the 70 car, or the 707 car. Maybe that's Madison's Vinny up there. I believe that is. Sitting P5, move up to the high side to try to get a little bit of position. And now, right there, Todd McGregor. That is what the high side is for here at Daytona. He got the push, he got the momentum. Now, going to move down to the nose of Charles Woods and take that spot away. Todd McGregor is going to move down to the bottom and take the lead here on lap number 15. That outside line, though, still pushing hard. That's Mike Whitaker. And the 70 machine trying to put a run together here. But it's going to be tough. They're back a good bit. You've got to be well connected to try to hold that off. Now it looks like we're going to see the 44 move up to the high side. He's going to pick up the draft there for that outside groove and try to get Whitaker rolling a little bit faster. They're going to come through the tri-oval here, single file on the bottom line for the top 5. And then side by side back there for basically 5th through 15th. And now that outside line, again, not really getting a whole lot of momentum here. And we're starting to see some of the drivers who came down pit road and the pit strategies that that is going to induce start to play into this. The first driver on track to come down pit road that last time by is Dave Hunt. In the 53, Jeff Hollingsworth was there, and Stephen Lane. They're running 5th, 6th, and 7th, all drivers that have already come down pit road. We'll see if they run a longer green flag run here, if that becomes a factor in fuel mileage, or if that is something that will come to their benefit or their detriment. Is it really going to matter at this point? Well, no, I would say not, considering they're running in the top 5. But it'll certainly give them an advantage if we were to see a longer green flag run. Todd McGregor up front, off the nose of the 40 of Charles Woods. That 5 car of Bob Lacavera, he's moved up there. He's up 14 spots on the night, Bob. Congratulations on that move so far, making that 5 look strong. Then just behind him, Andrew Lutz and Dave Hunt, rather, your top 5. I'm so used to seeing Tyler Hurt. But Dave up there in the top 5. Another driver who's moved around quite a bit here tonight is the driver of that 80 car. Andrew Lutz, he's up 15 spots on the start here tonight. Just 18 laps in. Again, the top 5 single files. They come down the backstretch. This is essentially the whole pack. I believe we've only got 2 cars no longer out on track, or never started the race. That was Fred Williams, Mike Shea. John Anderson and Andrew Lutz Jr. are separated quite a bit. So is Lonnie Barrington back there as well, trying to find a spot to maybe get caught up with this field. But it is still very much early here in this super speedway race. Lap number 19 of 80. You still got a lot of time left and a lot of opportunity to even pick up back your lucky dog, or to pick up laps that you go down here. That's the beauty of some of these super speedway races, as we see the 5 car duck out to the outside. Looks like he's going to take Stephen Lane with him as well. Now that's going to bolster up that outside line pretty strong. That 5 machine's going to have a decent run here, while the leaders on the bottom were a little scattered out. Now being led by Bob Lacavera on the high side as they roll into 1. Can Stephen Lane get him up there? nose to tail as they roll out of one. Bob, a little loose there on the track. As we looked at, I think the 80th car thought about ducking out there. The same with the 53, but boy, they have got that group rolling here. Nevertheless, no pressure out front for the 71. He has made that look pretty easy after taking that lead right after the restart here. And I'll tell you, he pulled it off well, and that's exactly what the outside line could do for you at some of these racetracks, is really strengthen a run and put it together so that you could get out front. And right now, Todd McGregor making it look fairly easy, leading here at Daytona with with Charles Woods, Andrew Lutz, Dave Hunt, and Jeff Hollingsworth, your top five. But then it gets a little crazy back behind him. Bob Lacavera, he was back there, or he was up front. Remember, challenging for the lead just a few laps ago. Now that outside lane starting to lose speed. Oh, and they're 3 wide as they come across the stripe. That's Stephen Lane making the middle work. You heard what I said earlier in the race. Oh, Bob's going to make contact with the wall. You heard what I mentioned that, oh, Bob, there it is. We're going to see another wreck. The 5 makes contact with the 96. He's sideways, and then the 44 is spinning, and the caution's out. You heard what I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Oftentimes, that third line does not work here at Daytona, and that's why it gets really tight. And without a good POV, without a good spatial awareness, you're going to have a hard time getting around a racetrack like this. And unfortunately, they made contact here and brought out the caution in lap number 23 at Daytona. Todd McGregor, Charles Woods, your front two. I imagine we're going to see most everybody come down pit road here. We'll find out. We're going to step aside. You're watching Turn 1. under caution here for the second time tonight on lap number 25, and pit road only seen about 5 or 6 drivers. It looks like Bob Lacavera, he had to come down and get some damage taken care of. The 23, Alani Barrington, the 44, the 56, the 96 all came down pit road, as well as the 81 of Andrew Lutz Jr. came down pit road here after that incident. All being led by Todd McGregor up front, Charles Woods, Dave Hunt, Andrew Lutz, and Jeff Hollingsworth. Your top 5. Jeff, bye. Hello, sir. I hope you're having a great night. You know what, Jeff? Let him get rolling here on this restart, and we'll crank it up for you if that's what you're looking for. I don't mind doing it. Todd McGregor in the 71. Going to be the control car. Going to be down on the bottom. We've seen some scattered out restarts. Can the 40 roll that outside line a little bit better this time? We're going to find out. And as I mentioned, we're going to crank it up. So you got it turned up on your phone, tablets, or whatever you're listening to, or watch it on. Crank them up. So we're going to listen to this restart. Todd McGregor, Charles Woods in the restart zone. The green flag out. Hey, Madison, I hope you're still watching. The 70 car, Vinny Manis up front on that outside line. He's got the big push from Tristan Perrine. Will they move down? They've also got Caden Henry Oaks. Huge run on that outside line. They're not going to take advantage of it just yet and move down. Really surprised to see that outside line staying up there. Now that bottom going to fall apart. There it goes. The 70 car is going to move down and take the lead off the bottom. Well, I see that. He's going to move back to the high side. All of a sudden, that outside line with some power. He's got the 93 with him, the 88. It's also got the 77 up there. So a lot of pushing power going on up front. A big shove. The 93 goes to the bumper of the 70. That inside line got disrupted in a big way. But here comes Jerry Bergeron. And Ross Rawlings on the bottom. Now, all of a sudden, that 70 car is going to be trapped up there. And a huge shove out front goes the one. Rawlings back up front after bringing out the caution just a little while ago. Glued back to the bumper here of the one car. They've got Dave Hurt, Charles Woods with them. Oh, big checkup on that outside line. A bunch of cars all over the place. They're going to get it settled down, but now all of a sudden, again, that outside line is falling back fast while the inside is rolling hard here at Daytona. Take a look back here at the 40, and that's Charles Woods. He's trying to pick the 70 up. He's going to want to use that opportunity to get a run, but they're going to say, no, sir. We're not going to do that now. The 40 car stuck in the middle is going to lose spots. Out front, though, free and clear. The one machine with the 91, the 53. And here comes, here's that, is that Jeff Hollingsworth up on the high side now in the 97 car? It is. Oh, and it looks like Ross Rawlings is going to move up, and there's going to be a big wreck behind him. That's going to scatter them all out. And unfortunately bring the caution out, but not before Ross Rawlings has scored your leader, Hunt, P2, and Jerry Bergeron, P3. Let's go back and see if we can take a look. It looks like this Charles Woods may be involved in this and a couple others. Oh yeah, it all started back there up front. Woods actually just scraped the edge there. He wasn't really super involved in that. And Stephen Lane also getting some damage in this event. Oh, big impact to the outside wall goes the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Unfortunately, like I said, Stephen Lane, the 40 is going to be involved, and a couple others. And that's going to bring the caution out once again here tonight at Daytona. The Downforce Racing Series right here on turn 1, lap number 32 of 80. Ross Rawlings, Dave Hunt, Jerry Bergeron, Todd McGregor, Andrew Lutz, your top 5. Madison, oh, okay, is it? Well, that's awesome. He had a really strong run there on the outside. That's something to keep an eye on. We appreciate you tuning in here with turn 1, though. And we're going to step aside one more time. Again, Rawlings in the lead, followed by Hunt and Bergeron. You're watching turn 1. Pace car lights are off, getting ready to go back. Green flag, racing lap number 34. Andrew Lutz on the inside gets them rolling pretty quick here. He's going to have some help from Dave Hunt. There's going to be a pretty decent gap there on the bottom. The outside line relatively organized. We're going to see them get a run here. That's going to be led by Rawlings. It looks like the one car of Jerry Bergeron's up there as well. Side by side down the backstretch. Oh, we've got another car sideways. The 23, it looks like we've got the 50 and the 45 involved, and that's going to bring another caution out here. And I show Ross Rawlings leading, but that very well could be a scoring error. I don't think he quite got up there, but maybe he did down the backstretch. Either way, we will clean it up and find out exactly what the running order is. When we come back, we're going to step aside once again. You're watching Turn 1. Coming back live here at Daytona, lap number 38, coming to lap number 39 here as these drivers get ready to get back green flag, racing the 91 of Ross Rawlings, Jerry Bergeron, Chris Walker, Andrew Lutz Jr., and Paul Grumrye, your top 5. As we get ready to get back super speedway racing, closing in on the halfway point of tonight's race. Those pace truck lights are off. That means as he passes by pit road, he's going to make a left-hand turn and head off track and give it or break it out or break these drivers loose to go back racing at 195 miles an hour. Pace trucks in. Rawlings down to the restart zone and the green flag back out. We're underway. An outside line again, not a great restart, but boy, the 91 get a huge jump. Here comes Lutz Jr. That outside line fell apart quick. Everybody, or mostly everybody, moving to the inside to try and get a little bit of draft help. Here comes the 1. He's going to get some help with the 96. That's going to form up the second line, but there's not going to be a ton of momentum there. Rawlings continues to lead on the bottom. Here comes the 1 of Bergeron. Not a lot of momentum on that high line. Rawlings going to lead that lap last time by. As we're officially past halfway, you see Lutz Jr. shove the 91 car way up front. An outside line still trying to materialize something. Ooh, the 96 and the 1. Those bumpers not aligning. Grumrye almost got a little too sideways there on the backstretch. Outside of those 3 right now, pretty much everybody in the top 12 or so down on the bottom. A huge gap started to come to fruition there just behind Dave Hunt. And that's going to be John Anderson looking for an opportunity to push with Mike Whitaker there on the bottom as well. Now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the outside line's back. And the 1's going to hop out there and see if he can catch a ride. So far, no dice in the top 4. Being able to hang on. But that outside line, like I said, went from only having 3 cars to having about 10. And what makes them fast here at Daytona is getting a bunch of cars built behind you and everybody starting to open up the air. Obviously, the 1 car, he's going to have his foot through the floor, but everybody else is only pushing their cars about 75%, if that. So they're really starting to they're having to back off the throttle, but they want to keep pushing and keep them organized. Stay nose to tail, really open up that bubble of air back in front of them. That is what is going to make them most successful here tonight at Daytona. And there you have it. Starting to slowly build that momentum. It looked like John Anderson thought about it for a moment to move out there in front of the 1, but he's going to stay on the bottom. Rawlings continue to lead the inside line. He's going to have Lutz Jr., Dave Hunt, John Anderson with him. Now the 7 car tucked in right behind the 91. That outside lane all of a sudden starting to look stalled out once again, being led by Jerry Bergeron. Inside line continuing to dominate here as they come across the stripe. Lap number 45. You're watching turn 1 on the inaugural kickoff race of the Downforce Racing Series right here at Daytona. I'm Sean Fitz, and everybody, we got everybody on either on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. We're seeing that numbers light up all over the place, so we appreciate the support. With that being said, though, that one car, he's getting some support on the outside. That outside line now starting to slowly move up. He's got the help of the 96. Beforehand, they were not able to get alongside John Anderson, but now making moves on that outside, starting to materialize. I also see the field taking a little bit of a different tone. With everybody kind of slowing down a little bit here. Being a little more patient. Seeing a lot of more give in these drivers as they work lap number 46. And now the one car is going to pop out, block the run. And that's Andrew Lutz on the high side. And he's going to get by the 91. But not going to quite move down and block the run. Move down to the bottom was the 7 of Andrew Lutz, Jerry Bergeron. Finally, after about 5 or 6 laps of battle on the high side, finally getting down to the bottom and taking the lead away. Now we see Ross Rawlings. He's a little, he's all over the place, inside, outside. Now going to pick the outside. He's going to get some help. Off the 96 there, I believe that is. Now Rawlings going to be on the high side. Let's see if that outside line can build some momentum here. Obviously, Rawlings has been very quick. Now with the 96 really glued to his bumper, he's going to be clear down the backstretch. Does he do something with it here? Now that inside lane looks a little slow and off the pace. The 96 is going to drop him. Paul Crummery is going to move to the inside. And he's going to have some help with Lutz. And all of a sudden now the 91's moving backwards a little bit. Did the 91 expect that move? I'm going to say not. As they start to get a little slice and dice up front, the 7's going to move up. Lutz now is going to drop the 96. Here comes Dave Hunt on the bottom. But in the meantime, Lutz, Bergeron, and Ross try to make that move happen on the outside. Get back up front. But that inside lane is back organized with the 96, the 53, and it looks like the 56 of Anderson. I don't know if this played in the favor of that outside lane like they wanted it to. They were hoping they'd get up there and get a quick run, but the 96s, I think, surprised them a little bit on the inside. As we see Lutz and Bergeron get pretty tight to the bumpers. Lutz is going to look down. He thought of it and then move back up to the high side. He does have at least 2 of those cars clear. Is he waiting for the 91? He may not get it. How long does that high line stay up there? Lutz Jr. trying to make it happen here at Daytona off the high line. And there you have it. Jerry Bergeron is going to be the first to duck down and take the lead off the 96. Going to hurt the momentum on that outside line just a little bit. But now, single file down to the bottom, the top 4. Free and clear and rolling here on lap number 51. 2x2 as they roll into 3 and 4. The outside line starting to come apart just a little bit, losing a little bit of momentum. While that inside line not looking as organized as well. Keep close tabs on this run here. You know, just a little while ago at the top of this, right after we went back green flag racing, I said the tone changed, and it looked like everybody was slowing back or leaning back a little bit. Been a little chaotic first half of the race. Great opportunity to everybody to check up and get some laps under their belt, but boy howdy, all of a sudden it got sporty there at the very front. And you know, we talk about this each and every time we're at a super speedway, that you've got to be there when it matters most at the very end of this race. Super speedway racing is very special about it. It's a great equalizer for a lot of these drivers. You don't have to run, you know, you don't have to be the fastest guy on track to win a race at a super speedway. You have just as much part luck as talent and everything else in between. You just have to have a little bit of patience and make sure you're there at the very end. Without being there, being up front, being in the right position, you could go 79 laps. That last one will ultimately decide your fate, and it may not pay off for you. So you got to be smart, keep the car clean, know what the car can do for you, what people around you can do for you, what you can do for them. To cross the checker flag first on lap number 80. Out front, Lutz Jr.'s got Paul Crumry tied on the bumper. That 96 car has been pretty quick here on the bottom. But more importantly, it started to show some flashes of speed. Being able to hold his own up front. Meanwhile, 2x2 pretty much all throughout the entire field. Here comes Ross Rawlings on the high side. That outside lane starting to build a little bit of a run. Charles Woods is back up here. Woods led a handful of laps, or a good bit of laps in the early going. Got caught up in some incidents, unfortunately losing a little bit of track position, but now has worked his way up, made some moves, and now Woods back sitting around P5 on that high line as they really start to build a head of steam. Oh! Bad move right there for Lutz Jr. He tried to move up to block the line. That's going to scatter. That's going to be a real big disruptor. Oh, and the caution's out. We got several cars spinning. Oh, that is unfortunate. We were seeing some pretty aggressive racing up front. We saw the Lutz Jr. machine move up there, try to block the line off of Ross Rawlings. Wasn't quite able to do it. Then that kind of put Woods in the middle. And then now all of a sudden, we have cars spinning down the front stretch. Under caution here once again at Daytona. 25 laps remaining for the Downforce Racing Series season opener here at Daytona. You're watching Turn 1. Getting ready to get back. Green flag racing here. Coming to 21 laps remaining in tonight's Downforce Racing Series right here. On turn 1. The 707 of Mike Whitaker and Caden Henry Oaks on the front row. They get back into the Geico restart zone. The green flag back out. 21 laps remaining. What a run there on the inside. A huge jump, but that's not going to do very well here in restrictor plate racing because, they're going to be 3 wide. Everybody getting squeezed with the exception of the 51 and the 53. They're going to move up to the high line. Now back down to the bottom. Those two out front by 4 car lengths, but can they hang on? Because here comes Todd McGregor and the 40 of Charles Woods. Do they have a chance to get caught up? Now with a huge run that'll materialize right here with Jerry Bergeron and Charles Woods, that is going to be something to pay close attention to. If they get the run rolling here, they're going to quickly get past these front 3 just because they'll be a little bit more organized and the car count will be higher. But right now, the 88 out front, free and clear with a decent push. And so far, John Anderson, Jerry Bergeron, Chris Walker, Charles Woods, they don't have the run to get up there and challenge that 3 single file drivers as they come across the stripe here. 19 left to go in tonight's race here at Daytona. That outside line now has got the 33 leading them around. And that's Chris Walker. But now all of a sudden the outside line is slow. They're going to lose a little bit of time. And everybody's going to move down to the bottom. Now Charles Woods is caught up to Todd McGregor on the inside. Here comes the 1, the 707 and the 96. All back down to the inside. The outside lane has disappeared. Now they're all single file for the top 10 down on the bottom. It's like a couple drivers thinking about it, including the 1, the 96 has moved up, but now he's going to take the air off the nose of the 33. And another big wreck. Several cars involved, including the 5 and the 56 of Jordan Anderson. I believe Anderson or somebody back there around Anderson got loose on that inside and went for a ride down the backstretch. Oh no, yeah, it looks like the 7. That was Lutz Jr. and the 56 just bumpers didn't align right, and unfortunately is going to collect the 5 and a couple others there. I know we had a request in the chat from Growmasters. They want to see the last caution, not the last one, but the one before that. We're going to take a look at that really quick. Growmasters, if you're still watching, I asked which one of your drivers was involved, so hopefully this helps out. We'll rewind even just a little bit just to try to get the best view here. Oh yeah, it looks like the 45 got tangled up in it. That's what I'm showing happened there to bring out that caution. If I have more information, I could certainly take a better look for you. In the meantime, though, Caden Henry Oaks leads. Dave Hunt, Tom McGregor, Charles Woods, and Jerry Bergeron, your top 5. Mike Whitaker, Corey Moore, Paul Crummery, Tyler White, and Chris Walker, your top 10. We're going to go back green flag racing with about 13 to go. Doesn't look like we'll see anybody in the top 10 come down pit road. Yeah, it's going to be about coming to 13 to go, I do believe. Once this caution is all said and done, several cars they're going to come down pit road and repair some damage. We're going to step aside one more time here. Under caution for the 6th time. You're watching Turn 1. Coming back, racing here under the lights at Daytona for the Downforce Racing Series season kickoff on Turn 1. And, well, we're going to have 14 laps remaining. Caden Henry Oaks on the inside row 1, Dave Hunt on the outside row 1. Back to the restart zone and the green flag out. So far, pretty organized restart. What's going to happen to that outside line? And does Caden Henry Oaks have what it takes to be a longtime leader here at Daytona? He's got help out of McGregor. Woods is down there as well. A bunch of back and forth all over the field. 2 and 3 wide, but they're going to get it sorted out. And all of a sudden now, Woods leading that high line. Henry Oaks moves up there to block. Woods, though, has got to run. Woods and McGregor. Well, I say that, but really only Woods is going to get clear of Caden Henry Oaks. Charles Woods back to the front. Oh no, the caution's back out. We got a car backwards. That's Ryan Patty. I believe that was all that was involved. Looks like Andrew Lutz is reporting an off track. Let's take a look. I think that was just the off track to avoid this incident. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Ryan Patty here. Oh, it looks like we were potentially wrecking coming from, oh yeah, several cars involved. Looks like Tristan Perrine and a couple others, unfortunately, going to bring that caution out here once again with 13 to go. My math was off last time. But I'll tell you what, we're going to be within 10 to go here once they get caught up to the pace truck. Charles Woods up front, Caden Henry Oaks, Jerry Bergeron, Todd McGregor, Dave Hunt, your top 5. Corey Moore is currently sitting 6th. Let's see, Mike Whitaker is sitting 7th, Paul Crummery 8th, Tyler White 9th, and Chris Walker, your top 10. Ross Rawlings, the driver who's been up front quite a bit, he's sitting 11th. Vinny Mestis sitting 12th. Stephen Lane, Alani Barrington, and Jeff Hollingsworth, your top 15. We're going to step aside here, hopefully for the last time, and get ready to call the remaining laps here tonight at Daytona. You're watching Turn 1. Charles Woods out front. Caden Henry Oaks, Jerry Bergeron, Todd McGregor, and Dave Hunt, your top 5. Now they're going to come back down to the line. 9 laps remaining in the season kickoff of the Downforce Racing Series right here on Turn 1. By the way, I'm sure, I haven't talked about it with them, but I'm sure they won't mind me saying so. If you are interested in joining this group of drivers each and every week, next week I think we go to Vegas, and for a 15-week Cup schedule, head on over to Downforce Racing Series on Facebook. Do a search. Tell them the Turn 1 sent you. Let them know you want to go Tuesday night Cup racing with them. I'm sure they can accommodate that. The pace truck, lights off. Gonna head down pit road. There he goes. Woods and Oaks up front. They get rolling through the restart zone. The green flag back out. 9 laps remaining. A little scattered on the bottom. Woods is going to be a little bit of trouble because Oaks has got the outside lane. He's not going to have any help, though, because here comes Todd McGregor on the inside to push Woods. I take that back. There it is. Corey Myers up there. I'm sorry, Corey Moore is up there on the nose and has got Caden Henry Oaks up front. Free and clear of the 40. Does he decide to move down or does he get the toe? There's the 96 of Paul Crummery. And they're all going to move down. Oh, and they're not going to pick up Oaks. Now, Corey Moore and the 96 up front on the bottom. They're going to come across the stripe. 8 laps remaining. Caden Henry Oaks now is going to have some help from the 91. Ross Rawlings. And they get that outside lane starting to roll. Side by side down the backstretch. Now we're starting to see some 3-wide action. Oh, cars are sideways. That was happening back behind the leaders. And they're continuing to wreck here. Several drivers involved. Dave Hunt, unfortunately, is going to get collected in this. Paul Crummery is involved. Charles Woods and others going to bring the caution out here for the 8th time with 7 laps to go. Out front. Right now, I show Rawlings scored the leader, but I think that's just them getting caught up potentially with the pace truck. We're going to recap our top 10. And we're going to go back green flag racing with about 3 to go. You're watching Turn 1. Tell me if this name rings a bell. Ross Rawlings up front, P1. Cody Henry Oaks, P2. Corey Moore, Todd McGregor, Tyler White round out your top 5. We're going to go back green flag racing with 4 laps to go. Those of you that may have never seen how a super speedway race ends, well, you're about to be in for a treat, because although we've not seen a ton of patience out there tonight, what patience, what deals, what teammates you have, who's pushed who, what have you promised, all of that is going to go out the left window. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get rolling here. Pace truck down pit road. Rawlings to the restart zone. The green flag is out. 4 laps to go here at Daytona. It's going to take him about a lap and a half to get up to speed. Can they hold it together for a 4-lap sprint to the end? Rawlings is going to move to the high line and try to block Caden. That's going to open up the bottom, and Corey Moore is going to take that spot away. And here comes Todd McGregor with the help. But Caden Henry Oaks is going to push Rawlings all the way forward and take that spot away from Moore. The 51, the 91, they're connected. Thick as thieves as they come through the tri-oval. 3 laps to go. That inside line looking stout here with Corey Moore about 4 car lengths back over Todd McGregor and Jerry Bergeron. Boy, the 91 and the 51 out free and clear up front. How long can they stay up there? Corey Moore is starting to press the issue. He's going to have a bit of a run. He's going to try to take it to the outside, but that hesitation is going to slow him down. He's going to be the only one out there. Now the one of Bergeron's going to join him. This may work out after all for Corey Moore as they come across the stripe. Into the wall goes Bergeron, but they're going to keep it together. 2 to go, and by the way, the 91 moved up and blocked the 45. That's going to separate those two quite a bit. The field had to check up. Several cars into the wall coming through the tri-oval. 2 laps remaining. If they get back to the start-finish line, that's it. We're racing to the checkers. The 91 and the 45 out front. But here comes Todd McGregor, Dave Hunt. Huge run on the outside. McGregor's going to have half a car length on him. Here comes Moore. Moore's going to drop him. Now, Rawlings moving back. The white flag is out one more time around here at Daytona. McGregor out front with Hunt. The only person they're going to have to deal with right now is Corey Moore. Nose to tail to the bumper here. McGregor out front. What does he do to hold off Hunt here in the closing corners? In the meantime, Corey Moore is looking for some help. Caden Henry Oaks is there, but they're not going to have the run. Everybody's scattered out. Does Moore, he's going to have to stay in line. Does Hunt decide to come out? He's not going to do it. They're going to make contact, spinning behind him. And your winner is Todd McGregor. Several cars taken out of an opportunity to win big here tonight at Daytona. I show Todd McGregor, Caden Henry Oaks, and Dave Hunt, who is sideways down the back stretch, or stopped on the front stretch rather, as the drivers that finished in the top 3. That is what I am showing, but that is going to be a tight one. Let's see if we can go back and watch this one more time. Do we have the right running order? They come out of the into the tri-oval. Hunt gets into the wall. Oh, that's going to be tight. I think Hunt was there, though. I think the running order may be correct, but Tom McGregor bringing home the victory here tonight at Daytona for the first race of the DRS series, or the DRS crew. Right here on turn 1, he's going to burn it down on the front stretch. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching turn 1. Exciting night of racing action coming to a close here at Daytona. We're getting ready to do some post-race. Looking forward to having Todd McGregor hop down into the channel so we can speak to him. Again, our race winner, Todd McGregor, had a great night, ran up front for a good portion. Caden Henry Oaks did the same, and Dave Hunt was always there for the most part, flirting around that top 5. And a wild finish is going to wrap up race 1 of the Downforce Racing Series season opener here at Daytona for turn 1. Moving forward, you can continue to find DRS and their races right here on turn 1 on Tuesday nights. We appreciate the commitment. We are going to run a 14 race summer series with them, so I look forward to that. Still waiting on our top 3 to make themselves available to us. Give them just another moment here. You're watching turn 1. getting ready to wrap up race coverage, and I do believe our top three, they're still not made their way down to post-race, but that's okay. Let's quickly talk about the schedule here for the DRS crew. Tonight, wrapping up Daytona, moving to Las Vegas next Tuesday night. Michigan, Nashville, Iowa, Pocono, Chicagoland, and Talladega, all before, well, it's Charlotte, all before the July 1st weekend. So it's going to be a good time. You're going to want to make sure you stay tuned here to Turn 1. Get connected any way you need to. We would be really excited to see you come watch these races week over week and join us live for all the racing action. Either it would be DRS, it'd be the ASRT crew, or OSR, the Ohio Sim Racing Group. We'd love to see you on board. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get any post-race coverage here tonight, but that's okay. We'll work on maybe potentially talking to our race winner next Tuesday evening. Until next time, though, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the league admins for bringing us on board, and on behalf of them, we want to thank you for tuning in to Turn 1. Have a great night. We'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye now.